Hi, and welcome to Starling Elementary's open house. I am Miss Gilford. I'm going to go over a couple of slides today to hopefully answer some of the questions you have. At the end of this video or your slide presentation, there will be another link under this slide that you can click on to send me questions. Hopefully I'll be able to answer all of your questions. I'm sure you're going to have quite a few. All right, so here we go. Welcome to Miss Gilford's 5th grade open house presentation. All right, so just to introduce myself, I'm Miss Gilford. I'm a native of Chicago, where my parents still reside. I left Chicago in '97 to attend the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Go Vols! I am a 2-time graduate from the University of Tennessee, where I received my undergraduate degree as well as my Master's of Science in Education. Recently, I received my educational specialist degree from Piedmont College. I have taught for a total of 18 years. 16 of those years have been in Gwinnett County. All right, so just to go over a couple of the things that we're going to talk about class schedule, office hours, grading guidelines that we have, and attendance, digital tools, and school supplies. So our class schedule and office hours, I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. We're going to start every morning with a class meeting on Zoom. So students should be there and prepared at 8:15 with their materials. They should at least have their composition notebooks, pencils, expo markers, their whiteboards that they've received, and any other materials they need for their first class for the class meeting. Right after class meeting, your students will go directly to their math teacher's link. So for me, I teach AC math and regular 5th grade math. And so if they have me for AC math or regular 5th grade math, then they might be in my first block or my second block. If they are not in my first block, then they will go to Miss Boda for reading. Some AC students will go to Miss Barnes for AC reading and for AC math during these blocks as well. We will have a device break from 9:50 to 10 o'clock. And then we will again have that second block. So if I met with a student for the first block of math, but they went to reading, then those students that went to reading in the first block will then come to me for this next block for math. Again, they would need their composition notebooks, pencils, expo markers, their erase boards, as well as their math textbook for that as well. Then we go straight from that block of math into lunch, which is a device break. Hopefully they put the devices down, get off of that screen time. And then 12:10 to 1:10, they'll be doing science or social studies. So the way that science and social studies works for 5th grade is students have either science one day or social studies the next day. For writing, they will have 1:10. It'll be from 1:10 to 2 o'clock. Which is right after science or social studies, and then they will go to their special teachers. Now, to just go back a little bit about the writing is always done with their homeroom teacher. So let's say I have a student that does not see me for AC math or reading. They will see me for science, and they will also see me for writing. All right, so hopefully that clears up the schedule a little bit. Office hours. So for Monday through Friday, I am available from 7:45 to 8:10, which is right before our class meeting, for messages or scheduled Zoom calls that you may have a question about before we begin class. For Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I also have office hours between 2:45 and 3:15. Again, the same thing. You could message me to set up a online meeting, not a face-to-face, but a Zoom, which would kind of be face-to-face, or a phone call at that time. Now, on Friday, notice that there are 3 different office times given. So 8:35 to 8:55, then 12:10 to 12:30, and then again from 1:10 to 1:20 would be the office hours for Friday. Grading guidelines and attendance. So with attendance, again, just like in the regular school day, will be taken daily. based off of our GCPS portal login. Students must log into the portal, then they must go to eClass, and from eClass they can link into all of the Google Classrooms. So they don't have to go out of eClass to Google Classroom. They can literally link in from eClass to Google Classroom. Each of those days that their attendance will be graded off of their presence and the amount of time spent in those platforms, those digital platforms. A school counselor will also be contacted if there are 2 consecutive days. So if you know that your child is going to be absent, you need to communicate that with your teachers and administrators. Okay, grading guidelines. So grades will be entered weekly. There will be both formative and summative assessments, and those will be done in a synchronous environment, which means in the presence of me. So whether that's in Zoom or if it's just something like a formative assessment and I'm looking at Raise Your Board or turn in this Google form, that's how we are doing some of our summative and formative assessments. For assignments, all assignments should be turned in within 2 school days of being assigned unless otherwise noted by an attendance situation where you may have, your student may not have been on during that time. Teachers will indicate missing assignments with an NTI in the gradebook. The NTI stands for not turned in. An NTI is a 0 in the gradebook until that 0 gets replaced by their grade and the turned in assignment. When students are not successful the first time, we will follow our school's reteaching and reassessment procedure for all summative assessments. Students that earn below a 70% are required to participate in reteach reassessment. So I know in that first email that you saw with the schedule, you may have seen a lot of CQI blocks. That is a lot of the time that we'll be spending with reteaching and pulling into small groups, working to either maintenance or reteach some of those things, as well as extend for the students that have it, and we need to go dig a little bit deeper. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the digital tools and school supplies. All right, so for our digital tools, we will be using some of the same things that we have used at Starling for several years, such as Nearpod, Google Classroom, Zoom, Flipgrid, Padlet, Seesaw on occasion, but for the most part, if your student is with me in this photo, we use a lot of Google Classroom, Nearpod, Flipgrid, Zoom, and Padlet. Okay, so all of our interactive tools are to help engage each of the students and to keep them as active as we possibly can with the teacher and other students in the classroom. So just to look back over our digital supply list, I know when I spoke to several parents, the question was, do we still need a lot of the supplies? And the answer is yes. We still need the composition notebooks, a couple of spiral notebooks, a package of notebook paper for them to be able to take notes as well as complete other assignments. The folders are to help them to stay organized. They definitely need pencils, a soft pencil pouch, because if we are back in the building, that soft pencil pouch is able to transition into their desk a lot easier than a hard one. Definitely need color pencils. We use those a lot for science as well as math. And then also you do need Post-it notes, pencil sharpener, you do need glue sticks, and the yellow legal pad is for writing. So when we publish our writing pieces, we put those on the yellow legal pad. Highlighters are for them to be able to take notes in, as well as expo markers. So the expo markers, every student is receiving a whiteboard that is cardstock and a sheet protector for the students to be able to write notes and be able to show me on Zoom what they've got. Okay, it's always important to also have a timer with a clock, because if a student is completing an assignment asynchronously, that means without me, with just looking at a video and then completing the assignment, that student also, once finished with the assignment or maybe not finished with the assignment needs to know when their next class is going to be. So I would hate for a student to get so wrapped up in a math assignment that they forget that they're supposed to be in their reading block within the next couple of minutes. So it is very important that your student has a timer or a clock or some way of being able to keep up with their schedule. All right, so what do they do on the first day? Now that we've said about school supplies and we've talked about attendance, where do they need to go the first day? Well, that first day on August 12th, they need to log into eClass. And the first eClass page that they're going to log in will be Gilford Core. Okay, so that will start at 8:15 sharp. It's good to try to log in at least 15 to 20 minutes before, just to make sure that they're not having any internet issues that would keep them out of the class meeting for that time. They need to be prepared. They need to be ready to sit up and pay attention. So there needs to be no distraction. I have a dog. I love dogs, but no pets in the classroom at that time. They just need to be prepared just like they would for our regular class day. All right, so at this time, what I'm going to ask parents to do is please feel free to rewatch this, watch it with your child. If you have any questions, the link that is also in this email is for you to send me questions, and I will respond back to those as best as I can. If I don't have an answer, I will try my best to get you an answer. I look forward to meeting all of you soon, and I hope we have an amazing year.